Hi guys, welcome to Beginner-Techies. In this video, I'm going to discuss about contents duplicate problem. Problem number 217 on Leetcode. So let us understand the problem statement. An integer is given with nums, array of nums. Return true if any value appears at least twice in the array. And return false if every element is distinct. Okay, so let us understand these examples. 1, 2, 3, 1 is given. Here 1 is repeated 2 times. The output is true. So if there is any repeated element into the array, we have to return true. If all the element in the array are unique, we have to return false. So this is easy problem on Leetcode. Let me draw this example. Let's suppose we have array, same array I'm taking 1, 2, 3, 1. So what could be the possible approaches? Brute force 1. We can use list, we can use map. This will take O of n, this will take O of n with extra O of n space, with extra O of n space, right? And this will take O of n square. Okay, so if we consider in the brute force approach, so we'll get time limit exceed exception. This will not good with time limit exceed exception. Okay, so yeah, so in brute force we have to check with each and every element. So we will compare 1 with 2, we'll compare 1 with 3, we'll compare 1 with 1. If there is any repeated character, we will simply return true from that point itself, right? If there is any match character. Okay. So let us first implement the brute force approach, then we will come to the another approaches as well, right? So here I'm just taking one loop, int I is equal to 0, I less than num state length I plus plus. So we have to come take another loop as well. Sorry, j is equal to j less than num start length. So if nums of I is equal to nums of j, right? If it is equal, then we can simply return true, or else we can return false. Let me execute this solution. Wrong answer. Okay. Sorry, this should start from I plus 1. Okay, right. So here if you see, right, so out of 71 test cases, 70 test cases are passed, one is getting failed. Time limit exceed exception. The input is very large. Okay, here we can see, right, out of 71, 70 are passed, one is getting failed due to time limit exceed exception. So these are the limitation with brute force approach. We cannot apply brute force approach to get the solution, to get the optimized solution. So we can think about some optimized solution over here. If we considering the list implementation, so how can we apply the list, right? So we have same input 1, 2, 3, 1. We will add the array of element into the list. Okay, if list dot contains, if this list of contains nums of I, sorry, this is I, right? if list dot contains AFI, we can simply return true. So if this is not present into the list, then we will add this element into the list initially. Then we'll come to this point. This will be added because this is not present into the list. Then we'll come to this point. This will be added. Then we'll come to this point. One list dot add, but before adding, we are actually checking this one, right? So if it is already contains, so if it's already added, then we can simply return true because this is repeated element, right? So let us implement this logic and we'll understand the limitation with this list. Okay, right? So I'm just taking one. I'm taking one list here, integer. Um, Store element, right? Store element. New array list. New array list. Okay. Now I should remove this loop because this should run O of n times, and here I need to check store element dot contains what? Nums of I. If it contains, then otherwise here we'll have to add what? Nums of. Okay, so let me run this. Okay, let me submit then. Make sure all the test cases should be passed because we are running in O of n. So here it is getting failed. Out of 71, total 65 test cases are getting passed. 6 is getting failed. Why? So we are just starting O of n time, right? But here, because of the complexity of this contains, this is getting affected. Yeah, this is getting it because this will like check O of n times list. So in this case as well, we are getting time limit exceed exception. So list is not a good approach in this case. List is not a good approach. So let us go with another solution. So if we applying the map, yeah, so the same way we have to do, but here instead of list we have to use map. So in map we will have key and values pair, right? So let me just convert this logic into the map and see the result. Here I'll use map integer and this should be hash map. Okay, now and this should be contains key and this should be put and this should be 1, right? Let me submit this solution. Right, so it took 13 ms, but we got the result. So in case of brute force, it got failed, we got time limit exceed exception. In case of list, again it got failed, we got the time limit exceed exceptions, just because of that contains method we are using for list. But in case of hash map, it's got success because the complexity of contains key as compared to contains it much better, right? So we should be more cautious and aware about the data structure we are using. As we have like experience, in case of list we are not able to even Even though we are using the single loop, but that contains method is affecting the performance. We are getting time limit exceed exception. So we should be like we should know the complexity of each and every data structure which we are going to apply. We should know the ready-made methods which we are going to directly use. So there are some complex, there are like for every inbuilt method there are some internal implementation. So we should be cautious and aware of those implementations so that we can easily choose the right data structure for our problem, right? So in the next couple of videos, like I'll discuss some more problem based on these differences like list and hash map. Okay, thank you for watching. Bye bye. See you in the next video.